Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Comptroller, for holding this meeting. My name is Mohammad Razvi. I'm the Executive Director of Council of People's Organization, COPO. And we are not a disaster case managing agency, but however, because of Hurricane Sandy, because of the lack of efforts from elected officials, because of the lack of efforts from FEMA and disaster Red Cross, wherever you want to call it, we have to become a disaster case management agency. The only reason is because many individuals who are not here are also the ones who don't speak English. And this community, this neighborhood, the projects, when it was called the projects where I grew up in Sheepshead Bay, that's what it was called, not public housing, not assisted living. It was the projects. So coming from the projects, I'm well aware of all the community members that are here who did not come in because they were not notified correctly. Translations, information to these community members never went out, even prior to the disaster, even getting ready, even afterwards. Right now at my office, I have a Russian speaker, I have a Spanish speaker, Urdu, Hindi, Punjabi, Arabic. I have over 9 different languages being spoken in my office just to help the community members who were affected. The sad part is, when we started to help these disaster cases and all these individuals, there was no resources. Yes, build it back and so forth, even FEMA, denials. And it's you're damned if you don't take that damn loan, and you're damned if you do take that loan because you gotta pay the damn back. That's sad. I'm telling you, I work with many third world community members who come from third world countries. They're like, I feel like I'm in a third world country here. How dare you, it's been 2 years and we don't have help? That's sad. The most important thing is these community members did not receive any resources, and we kept trying, but more importantly, we were able to raise $1 million to help those community members. And we're still continuing, but the sad part is the bureaucracy with FEMA, with Build It Back, is just horrendous.
Yeah, no,
there is no... 3 things I want. And these 3 things, first is accountability. I call upon you to publicize, these are the agencies from Florida and Kansas who got the funding, and these are the people who approved that funding. I want to know whose signature is on that contract, because that's what should be public, and you should show it on the webpage, have a press conference. These are bad people. That's the first thing, accountability. There's no reason for somebody to come from transparency, but no reason for someone to come from Kansas to...
Before you do this 2 and 3, so what can we do in terms of looking at contracts and making sure that people get that information, because eventually that's going to come to us?
I mean, a fundamental part of what we're going to be looking at is where this money is being spent. Where those consultants are, who those contractors come in, we will be looking at that.
So public money being spent, be open to public then. That's all I care about.
That's why we're here today, because at the end of the day, this has got to be something we look at, and I know that.
Second thing.
Can I just say, anyone who has information on a particular contractor, it's really important that you leave that information, because unfortunately, the contracting process with subcontractors is not that transparent. And it's really important that if you know of a vendor who has performed poorly, to help us connect the dots.
Well, the thing is, I'm not going to hire an investigator to find those individuals.
No,
that's what it means.
This is a very serious part of the meeting, because part of what we're doing is information gathering. So we don't always know who the subcontractor is, but many people have had the interaction. One of the reasons why we're doing the hearing and talking to people is, we're not prosecuting people, we're doing audit, and we need to get information. So if people have information and you don't get to ask a question, or you want us to check something, we have people around the room from our office who will take your name and number, the same guarantee, you get a call tomorrow, and I want you to know that. And now you have 2 other things.
2 other things. Apartments, affordable apartments. God, I can't even explain to you how many people we have resources for them to become sustainable, it's called. And I cannot get them that funding, because now, where they used to pay $800, now a new apartment is $1,400. And the money is there, like paying over, not $2,800, I'm talking about 3 months payment. But after 3 months, they're going to be out on the street again. That is pathetic. All these buildings that are being built with all the corporate funds that have been contracted previously.
You're asking some good questions. I know you've got our deputy controllers.
Absolutely. We just put out a report on affordable housing citywide, and the issue that you just talked about is one of the highlights of that report. The hundreds of thousands of apartments that were available below below $1,000 a month rent that are no longer available. And the crisis that that's created and the number of people, because of the lack of supply at that price level, that are at risk to going into the shelters, which are already at record levels, is one of the issues that we're highlighting. So it's just an example of something we're looking at on a larger level. We also looked at it neighborhood by neighborhood. I think there may be copies of the report out front.
Wonderful. Last thing, real quick. Most importantly, these undocumented individuals that we were helping, I cannot explain to you how desperate they are. They are so desperate, and I can't explain to you, they're so afraid. And FEMA, quite frankly, in their face, I can't help you, goodbye. And even these people, they're saying, oh, we'll help you, but they never help them. It's really sad. We have to find out a way. We have 12 million plus that are here, and they're here to stay. They have kids in schools, they have parents living here, and they're all here. We have to look at some way to help them during this time.
So I would love for you to leave your information because we would like to contact you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. Next.